are 4 key elements that are important for successful implementation of active support. Many people with disabilities still live in small group settings, so staff have to provide support for more than one person at a time. This means that staff need to work as a team to support people, preferably using users' agendas and preferences as the starting point for activities and interactions. There also needs to be a consistent and balanced approach used by staff. There needs to be supportive rotas and shift plans to help staff to know what they are doing when they're on shift that day. And finally, we know that practice leadership is absolutely key to shaping up staff skills and to maintaining the quality of the support that people receive over time. The clips that we're about to watch illustrate a range of these elements. In the first clip, Dennis talks about practice leadership, the importance of shift planning and having accessible plans for the people that they support.
When I first came here at Lavender Road, there was a lot of things that actually took place with people with support, but there wasn't really any structure. So you would get staff arriving on shift, and very often a question that would be asked as people walk through the door, they'd turn around and say, so what we're going to do today? And that would be a question that was very often asked. So when people actually came into the service, the people with support didn't know what they were going to do the day. And to be perfectly honest, neither did the staff. And that was something that we really had to change. So if you have a shift plan, for instance, on a Thursday, that tells staff exactly what they expect to do when they get into the service. People with support can also know what they're going to do on a Thursday as well, in case something happens, like for instance it's bad weather, or unfortunately you haven't got enough staff because some are sick or some are on annual leave. You have to have a contingency plan to back it up. So then people still have routines to their life and things to do. We had a lot of team meetings around this. We'll discuss things like shift planners, and we'll constantly review them and change them. And what it has done is it's made the staff happier, because when they come into the service, the first thing the staff will do, well, not the first thing, they obviously support the people with support first. But within the first half an hour or an hour, the staff actually look at these shift planners. They look a bit tatty now, because they use a lot, which is a good thing. But they'll look at them and then it'll highlight exactly what they're doing. It doesn't just highlight what they're doing, but it highlights which staff will support someone else. And people with support will also have and understand what they're doing. We do find it more difficult with people, as I said, with profound learning disabilities, to have some sort of plan for them so they can recognise how their day moves on. But there are people in the service, like Vincent, who has a planner, a pictured planner that shows him how that works as well. So his pictured plan works exactly the same as the shift plan for the staff. So we've got that in advance all the time.
Tom's done his bedroom today.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do that tomorrow. Lisa and Robbie are eating tea now.
Yes, are you in trouble? So what's really nice about this clip is that both staff members come in at handover to see Jacob first, and what we see here is the member of staff that's on duty sitting down to start with, and then she gets up and moves away, and the new person coming in takes that place. So it makes it very clear who's actually going to be working with Jacob next. And they do this before they move off into the office to have their discussion of handover.
Planned for tonight. That was all was planned.
Just a drive out, Jackie. We didn't want to put anything in to say, just in case his injection knocked him over the edge a little bit and gave him behaviours, but it hasn't. So we'll just go for his normal little drive to the lighthouse, and down to the fish quay.
Right.
I suppose the main part of practice leadership, or what I've found is practice leadership, people have asked us before what sort of style or approach I have, and I think the style and approach, the main thing is to be there. Not to be a manager who just sits in the office. As it happens, I am sitting in the office at the moment, but I like to be out there. So if people go to hydrotherapy or they go on an outing or anything, and they come into the office and my door's always open, and the staff will say, Dennis, when we be short today, would you like to come along? I'll try, if it's possible, to drop anything to go along. Because what I can do from that is two things. I'm always being involved with the people with support, and their lives constantly change. So I'm involved with the changes in their life. But I'm also there to observe the staff. give them feedback on different things.
It's just natural. So they kind of just go in and, you know, and prompt the person to go and make a drink, you know, so you feel comfortable. You don't feel like it's an act. And the response from the person that you're supporting, that's when you know it's natural, because they know what the next step is. So if you give somebody a box of cereal, then they'll tip it in the bowl because they've done it before. So you know it's all kind of that's a natural thing that they normally do. Otherwise they'd be looking at it and thinking, well, what do I do with this? You know? So you know, tip it into the bowl, they've done it before. Give them a jug, they tip it into the cup, they've done that before. So you know that it's done on a regular basis.
Weetabix or your crackers? Come on, Joe, which one do you want? Which one do you want, Joe? Come on there, Mo.
Good choice, Joseph.
Hey, Joe. What do you want on your crackers? Do you want your cheese or your patty? Oh, Joe, which one do you want? Joe, you going to tell us which one you want on your crackers? Oh, man, come on. Do you want your patty, Joe, or your cheese? Right, Joe, which one do you want? Come on, and I got your crackers. Patty, there you go, well done, mate. Right, yeah, choose your patty first.
Yeah, you know when he had the patty and the cheese bread, I noticed that he sort of did patty then cheese bread and it threw you a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe because they were similar sized containers and I wasn't quite sure, but
Yeah,
if they're little enough,
aye,
little enough, they do look similar, don't they? If you had held them up to him and said cheese or patty, you maybe would have grabbed one and done his normal thing there.
Of course, it's worth considering that Joe might actually have wanted both pate and cheese on his crackers.
Well done, Joseph, you enjoying it? Not disturb you, mate. Because you know that you like it cool and you haven't got nothing there, Joe. Now what we'll do, Joe, is get a different cup, because I know you don't like this. Yes.
Joe. Is that what you're doing, Dennis?
Well, it's just what I do with Joe is sometimes, because I know that he likes it cool, doesn't really like hot tea, but he doesn't like the cup hot neither. And what I've found in the past is if you put the tea in the cup and the cup gets hot on the outside, Joe then, because he thinks it's hot, tips the tea down the sink. So if you change over the cup's nice and cool on the outside. Hey, Joseph, is that okay?
Actually, that was quite an interesting thing for me to see, because what that was, when Joe has a cup of tea, he doesn't like it too hot, and if the cup's really hot on the outside, he can sometimes just throw it away because he thinks the tea's going to be hot. So what Dennis did was he poured it in, made the tea in one cup, poured it into that cup so the outside of the cup was cool, so that Joe doesn't then have the heat on his hands, so he doesn't think that it's going to be hot, so just throw it away, he tastes it first.
Okay, take them out, Barry. We need to check them, don't we? That's it, you take them out, put them on there. That's one, and that one. Thank you. I came out after I'd done that and I said, I've missed so many opportunities with Barry there. Because I'd not done it for a long time, do you know what I mean? There were times where I should have just stepped back a little bit and waited for him, do you know what I mean? But I wanted to help him. Because it's not about me wanting to take over, it's about me wanting to naturally help Barry to achieve what he wants to do, but stepping in probably a little bit too early. And I kind of said afterwards, I said, I just took over so many times and so many missed opportunities that,
I'm very particular, or I try to be, I endeavour to be. For me personally, it's about them genuinely having a genuine compassion and caring about the people that support. Everything else we do can be taught. You can talk, or pretty much teach somebody, how to, I don't know, fill in documents or, do the paperwork side of it.
So it's being able to adapt yourself into the position of the day and look at the person and say, actually this is who I need to be today to support that person. Be creative, look for opportunities.
But I think somebody finding somebody with genuine compassion and who doesn't just, fly the bag of person-centred support, who actually feels it and wants to provide that, is the most important thing for me personally. And I know pretty much straight away within the first few weeks. Doesn't matter how many times, at interview you're only getting a snapshot of somebody really. But I think people that, genuinely do care and want to provide the best possible support that they can is very, very important. Yeah.
It can't always wait, you see, for a month away. When you see some really good support, it's just about saying to that person, well done, that was absolutely brilliant. Look at what the person's achieved. And I think that, for staff, it's a real building somebody's confidence, to actually think, actually, I've done that with that person, I've supported that person to achieve that.
Implementing active support requires ongoing management commitment, attention and action. There are 2 key factors that determine whether staff will do active support: skills and motivation. Do staff have the skills to do active support? In other words, have staff had the training, both classroom-based and hands-on, and ongoing coaching and supervision to maintain their skills? And are staff motivated to work in this way? Some of the key things here are thinking about, what do staff think their role is? Do the staff see themselves as carers or enablers? How do staff know what to do and how to work with people? What do staff think that their managers want them to do? And also, what do they get out of the job? What are the consequences of the job? So organisations are usually good at dealing with the skills issue, although this is sometimes limited to classroom-based training and hands-on training is not provided. However, motivation is often forgotten as a factor that is important. We know, for example, that staff who think that their managers want them to do paperwork will do paperwork. If they think that managers want them to enable people, then they're much more likely to do that. Helping staff feel valued is an important part of creating the right motivational context. The following clip illustrates how Dennis tries to help staff feel motivated in his service.
To make those staff feel valued, we have leadership teams, or we have coaches meetings, or we have practice surgery meetings. So what I try to do is invite different staff along to that. It's not always the seniors that come along. And I think it's probably part of the way that I've instilled into the staff team now that they're valued, that when I go up to the staff team and ask them to record 1-minute stories and that, it doesn't matter whether they're a support worker or whether they're a senior or whatever they are, night staff worker, they still think, yeah, I have got something to say and I know that Dennis values that.